Curious about how to use AI in social media marketing? I'm only going to use AI and automations for my social media marketing for the next 365 days. You can follow along to see what happens, and I'll show you the behind the scenes right now. First, I'll show you how I'm planning it. Then I'll show you what I'm paying attention to so it doesn't go sideways. Plus, I'll tell you how I'm automating all of this so I'm not spending a ton of time prompting, editing, all of that. All right, so first, why did I decide to start using AI for my social media? I love connecting with people online. I love writing even. In fact, before going into AI training, I was a writer, a good one too. But all those things can be true, and I still don't want to spend all my time doing social media marketing. I'd rather spend more time replying to comments, connecting with my people, coming up with ways to help them, and going deeper with my audience. And then from a personal side, I don't want to be on my phone at night when my kiddo's home. I want to be hanging out with her, not thinking, oh, I got to post this thing on social media. And so I came up with this idea to automate as much as possible, to use AI as much as possible, and to really detox myself from this constant consumption of social media. Now, I have to be honest, I'm a little bit nervous about sharing this because it feels really risky. You can go to my social media and see how it's going right now. In fact, today is September 4th, 2024 at the time of this recording, so you can see really how it's going. I'll drop my links below so you can follow and subscribe and see the whole thing. And if you want to follow along, here's how I'm doing it. The first thing I'm going to do is a cash map strategy overview. This is something that I show people in my AI to 100K program how to do, but here's a brief overview. The first thing I'm going to do is go to ChatGPT, and I'm going to start to get really clear on who my audience is. Almost every time I do this with someone, they'll start by saying, oh, I know who my audience is, especially people that have been in business a while. But every single time we do this, they have a clearer picture of their audience by the end of this exercise. You'll go into ChatGPT and you'll say this: I'm going to tell you about who I know my audience to be, any demographics, psychographics, any patterns that I see, and I want you to ask me questions that help me further identify who it is that I love working with. I want you to be as specific as possible and continue to ask questions until I know my audience better than they know themselves. Then you're going to tell it about your audience, who you work with, who you've loved working with, any patterns you notice. For example, if you notice most of the people you work with are parents, or most of the people you work with are coming out of corporate, or whatever the case is, you want to think about who it is that you're working with. Let's say you're working with real estate agents. You might say, well, duh, Brittany, of course the pattern is all of them are real estate agents. But look at how did they get into real estate? Why do they like doing real estate? What are their frustrations? We want to be thinking about all of those things when we're thinking about patterns. After you put in everything you can think of, you're going to ask ChatGPT to review it, analyze it, and then ask you questions. By having it ask you questions, it's going to help you go deeper to the heart of who your audience is so that you understand them not just from a demographic or psychographic level, but from a deep interpersonal identity style level. After you've done that and you feel like you have a really good idea of who your audience is, and by the way, it's going to give you a lot of questions. So you may get halfway through and be like, I don't want to answer any more questions. That's okay. You can even say, I want you to fill in the rest of the questions based on what you can assume from what we've talked about already. And it's going to do that. Once you have this audience persona, you have a clear picture of who your audience is, we want to save that into a Google Doc because then you can just upload it later. After you've saved it in that same chat, we're going to say this: now I want you to help me understand what my audience's problems are, what they think the solution is, and what kind of goals and outcomes they want. So then it's going to give you that information. And then you're going to say, now I'm going to tell you about my offers, and I want you to ask any clarifying questions so that you understand how my offers are the right fit for my audience. After you do that, the next thing that you're going to do is ask ChatGPT to help you come up with a plan. So you're going to say, based on what we've talked about my audience, assume that I want as many of them as possible to buy as many offers as possible from me. List out the topics that I need to cover to take them from point A, where they're at today, to point Z, which is them buying every offer that I have, as effectively and efficiently as possible in a way that benefits them the most, while also being as profitable as possible for me. From there, it's going to come up with ideas for you. And once you have the ideas, you can start creating content for them. This is the gist of how I do my cash map strategy. It helps me plan for the whole year, make sure I'm not missing anything, and not just creating content for the sake of content, but content for the sake of getting people on my email list and getting them to buy. Now, once I've done that, there's a few things I want to look for to make sure that the content I'm creating is good, is high quality, and is something that I'm going to be proud of putting out there for the next year. When I'm creating content with the help of ChatGPT, I take that list that it gave me, the content ideas, and then I ask it to create outlines for me. From there, I record my thoughts on the outlines, and then I can use that for short videos, for reels, for repurposing with my transcript. I can repurpose it with ChatGPT into Facebook posts, emails, Instagram posts, and so on. So it's still coming from my thoughts, my ideas, but the ideation starts with ChatGPT. This is one of the ways I get high quality content and use AI and use automation. Speaking of the automation, you can even use a tool like Metricool or SocialBee to automatically post for you. Now, the ways that I make sure things don't go sideways, first of all, in that automation where it's pulling from the content and then going into SocialBee, which then posts into my Facebook, Instagram, and so on. What I do with that is I have it set to a draft. So it doesn't automatically post out. That way I don't get any weird things posting that I don't want if ChatGPT goes haywire one day. And it helps me feel better knowing that somebody's gonna take a look at this before it goes live. The next thing that I'm doing to make sure this doesn't go haywire is I'm using Zapier. You can also use Make or Pabbly as well, but I'm using Zapier so that I can automate as much of this as possible. I know if it's up to me, if I have to be the one actually clicking to upload or clicking to repurpose it, it might not happen. There's other things on my plate, there's other things happening in my life, I get distracted. There's a lot of reasons that this could go wrong if I don't automate it. So I automate as much as possible so I can get that content done without it all relying on me. Really, all I have to do is create a 4 to 8 minute video. And then we have something called an instant AI content system, which is that Zapier ChatGPT integration that does the rest of the work for me. All I have to do is record the video and upload the transcript. Easy peasy. Now, I know you might want to use AI in your social media marketing too. And I know trying to figure this all out on your own can be overwhelming. In fact, this has taken me about 2 years to figure out myself. And so I'm trying to give you a shortcut here, and I'm gonna give it to you for free. When you click the link that comes with this video, you're going to get my workshop, AI to 10K, for free. This workshop's going to show you how to create all your launch content for your next launch in just 2 hours. You'll be able to use all my marketing knowledge and my prompts to create your launch content fast, while still sounding like you. My name is Brittany Long. Click the link that comes with this video to get the AI to 10K workshop for free.